my profile and you can watch back. There's a lot of changes happening right now in the African and Caribbean nations, especially governmentally. There's a lot of changes, especially in the areas or the nations of Burkina Faso, Niger, Senegal, Mali. A lot of them are awakening to, though it's not really a new awakening, but there's been a new momentum of getting the French colonial abusive barbaric hand out of Africa. And though it's an amazing thing and I'm so happy to see it, but them removing the French hand and the French monopoly that they did have over these African nations, there's a space, there is a gap. We want France out of Africa, or we want them out, or we want them to be amicable and naturally do business in fairness. But though these are prime ministers and these presidents and these governments are doing amazing things in Africa right now, they are, and the thing is, there's a lot of talk on it because it was a coup and the military did take over, but it is what the people want and they have the best interest of their nation. But saying that, though they want France out, there's a hand, the French hand and the essence is still going to be void. And that's where the diaspora truly comes in. So though these presidents and these governments are doing amazing things in Africa, the void is still apparent. And this is why I'm a part of these different associations. I'm the youth ambassador of these different associations, because I want the youth to get involved. I'm talking about the diaspora, those that live outside of Africa, to get involved. And though we see these prime ministers and these presidents doing amazing things, they need our help. Hence why they have opened their arms, opened their doors to the diaspora, because they know that they need the help of the diaspora. If we want to see change in Africa, if we want to see change in the Caribbean, but predominantly I'm talking about Africa right now, we really need to assist and help them in these matters. They're looking for a lot of investment. They're looking for a lot of help when it comes to your skills, your experiences, your qualifications. This is like Africa needs its diasporas more than ever. And right now, part of what I'm doing with my mentor and my associations and my CEOs and so on and so forth is that, I'm looking for young people of the diaspora, Caribbean or African, that want to be more proactive, want to be active in assisting for a better future for the Caribbean and Africa in general. It may not be your nation per se where you directly have linkage to. However, if you do want to be more proactive in the change in Africa and in the change in the Caribbean, please send me a message. Or if you have a friend, family, or an acquaintance that that wants to see a change in these nations, please do contact me, because there's a lot that needs to happen. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. Many hands make light work. And Burkina Faso, their president is an amazing man. He is wanting change. He is demanding change, and he is changing things, but he needs the diaspora's help. They're very open and apparent to the help and the involvement of the diaspora. We can't sit back and get complacent in lands that are not our own. Not to say that I'm not British, but I know I'm Caribbean, and I know even before that I derive from Africa as well. And I'm not the only one that doesn't see that I don't see my future in the UK. I don't see my future in Europe. Not to say that I won't always go back and forth. However, I just know that I won't be in Europe permanently. That won't be my base. And I think that's the amazing thing about the subculture that we come from, because I'm not Caribbean, nor am I British. I'm British and Caribbean, so there is we're like a subculture in itself. And there are amazing benefits of being a dual citizen. There's benefits I get from being Dominican, and there's benefits that I get from being British. So we are most fortunate to have that available to us, but we need to use it for the better. When I went to Kenya last year, I went on my Dominican passport because I didn't need a visa. And obviously when I go to other nations, I may use my British passport. that's just how the cookie crumbles, and I'm utilizing being a dual citizen. But nevertheless, there is an advantage that we have. That our brothers and sisters that live back home do not, and we cannot be so self-centered, because I find this generation very, very self-centered. We only care about ourselves, and we need to see how we can assist back home in its development. Africa is trying to make a change. Not all Africa is trying to make a change, full stop, blank period. The Caribbean is trying to make a change, full stop, blank period. But they need resources. They need the funds. They need the activity and the proactivity and the contribution of the diaspora. You are important in the movement. You are important in the changes in our nations. Let us not sleep and let our prime ministers and presidents do the job. We also need to be proactive in seeing the change of Africa and the Caribbean. We need to see a change. If I have to ask you one question, if war was to happen today in the UK or in the Western world, where would you run to? You would run back home, right? And I know it for a fact. Everybody would get up and leave and go back home. But let's make back home a place worth going. A lot of us are not back home because of jobs, because of money, because we are trying to achieve and do certain things here. Kudos to all of us. However, let's just be real. When COVID happened and we stuck in our homes, we all desired to be back home in Africa or the Caribbean. That is a realism of life. That if Africa or the Caribbean was a place where we desired to be economically, financially, we would be there. We would run out of this country instantly, spontaneously, straight away, and move back home. So let us contribute to seeing the development of the Caribbean and Africa. It's not a joke, like to the point where I'm getting frustrated, especially with the Caribbean community, because trying to do things with certain people, and people are so concerned about fetting. We're so concerned about lying and bending over and having fun. And though I get it, because we're Caribbean, that's what the culture is about. But when it comes to actually getting things done and seeing it develop, people are not willing to put in the work. People just want to lime and drink. And I'm at a point where I'm fed up. I'm fed up. I'm absolutely fed up. And I'm trying not to be fed up, because it's also raising awareness. And that's what I need to do in this time, is raise awareness of it. But we need to be proactive. There are changes that the governments are trying to make, especially in the Caribbean. But what can they do if a nation only consists of 100,000 people? We have boroughs in London that have more people, but yet our country is running on 100,000 people, 200,000 people, yet they have a diaspora of so many more people outside of the country. We are our nation's biggest resources, especially as the Caribbean. We are our nation's biggest resources, and we are neglecting the Caribbean. But we want to go back to the Caribbean, sit on a beach, drink some rum and have some fun. Like, I'm over it now. And I'm to the point where we need to do more as a diaspora. We need to give back more. We need to be more proactive. Because I'm telling you, the future of Africa and the Caribbean is greater. Their days are greater ahead. And it's like, I see it as Dubai. I'm sure we all wish we could have invested in Dubai 20 years ago or 30 years. We wish our parents did. I'm telling you, don't want to miss out, because the future of the Caribbean and Africa is very bright. If this is a warning, jump on it, get involved. If you can get your passport for the Caribbean, get it. If you can't get it because of legal reasons, message me, because I'm trying to make a difference in that area. But I cannot do it by myself. I cannot make enough noise by myself. Get your passports. Those who are Africans, I know it's a bit different because Caribbeans came here much longer than Africans. Get your passport. You don't want to miss out on the development of these nations, and you'll be stuck here depressed, while people like me will be enjoying the fruits of our labor and living life and loving life back in home in the Caribbean and Africa. I'm just trying to make you guys be awakened to the changes that are happening in the world. You know, we have so much change, especially after COVID. We have so much changes from remote working. We have so many changes from people's satisfaction of life and how people feel satisfied. this rat race that everyone's chasing after is becoming historical. We're not really focusing on it as much as our parents and our grandparents did. I'm trying to awaken a generation to make them realize, not to say that you have to go back home and just live back home and live happily ever after. This is the benefit of being a dual citizen. You can go and come as you please. You can do 5 years there, 3 years there, 1 year there. We have the liberty of doing it. It's just changing your perspective and way and how you see life. It doesn't have to be like that. We have online schools. I have acquaintances that are creating online schools, private schools in the Caribbean. And they're great, fantastic schools with great results. Your child doesn't have to stick to a school, physically go in. Like, you have to catch up with the future. You know, being up and down, moving from place to place, we could do so. You could get a mortgage. I could personally get a mortgage in Dominica and I get a mortgage in London easily. Thank God I have a dual citizenship. There's so much advantages to it, especially as a diaspora of us living or being born and raised in the Western world. I'm just trying to raise awareness and really awaken our generation that there is more to life than what you see and what you know. There is so much more, and the governments need our assistance. Africa is crying out for help for its diaspora. They are trying to remove the power of France over their lands, over their raw material, over their resources. They are trying to take back their lands, but that void is still there. The diaspora needs to assist. We are not going to be the saviors of the day, and I'm not saying that we are going to be the saviors. We cannot do it all. However, we do play a vital role in it. They are trying to get France out. The void is still there even if France goes. We as a diaspora need to find out more and do more proactively. Look at, if you don't know what I'm talking about, please research countries like Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, Senegal. They want out. They want the French out. They want the US out. They want all these colonial powers out. But they cannot and will not be able to do it without filling the void first. And we are the void fillers. The diaspora is the void fillers. So please do your due diligence, research, find out more. But I'm just really trying to spread awareness, and I'm going to be speaking more because it's on my heart. Like, I've just come from work and I'm just on my laptop and doing the things that I need to do. But I need to really raise awareness, because if I don't know who else will at this point. Though there are people out there, but you know, I really want to raise awareness. People, you don't even know that you like something like £100 a month. You know, that could really and being invested into and fill the gaps and the voids of these nations. You know, there's so many. I'm gonna have something out very soon, probably in May, and I just want people, and I'm just trying to raise awareness that our nations need us. The Caribbean needs us. If you can open a bank account in the Caribbean, do so. If you can send money abroad, do so. I'm also going to have something out for you fairly soon on that. So please, if you want to open a bank account in the Caribbean and don't know how, please message me. Please message me, and I will assist you in doing so. I have things lined up for you to make it easier for you, so that can be done. Because that money that you will send back home in the Caribbean into the financial institutions will have positive economic effect in our banking systems, allowing them to pay off debts, allowing them to have more of foreign currencies within their reserve. There is so much benefits you don't even understand and you don't know, and it is my job also to raise awareness, which I will be doing soon. But nevertheless, we need to fill the void. We need to fill the void with the changes that our governments are trying to do in becoming more socially, economically developed as the Caribbean and Africa as a whole. Africa and the Caribbean, I'm talking about them simultaneously because they are also working in unison. They are also strengthening their own relationships with each other and amongst nations. Again, CARICOM, if you're part of the CARICOM community, should have been on the 31st of March, but I'm going to double check if that's clarified and all the legalities are done and out the way. But we should be able to travel amongst the CARICOM nations without any interruption, free movement without any interruption, which is such a blessing. If you wanted to open a business in different islands, you can do so. If you wanted to live in a different island, you can do so with the Caribbean passport. So I'm telling you guys, the Caribbean is moving towards a one Caribbean. It is moving towards that sector, even to the point that Dominican Republic want to join CARICOM. They want to join the Caribbean community, and so do other nations, which is amazing. And there's forward movement moving to a one Caribbean. So please, I'm urging you to do your research. A great YouTube is Africa Reloaded. They speak a lot about the changes within Africa and a lot of things that they're doing currently, and good and bad. But it's good to be aware of what's going on. So please, I'm just saying this as well. I'm not really interacting with anyone because I just want to post this on my story so I can continue about my day. But I feel like if I have to do a live every day to raise awareness, then I'm going to do that. Again, I'm the youth ambassador for ADDI Caribbean and SPC. So I'm telling you, I'm trying to get the youth involved. I'm trying to get the diaspora youth involved. Not only the youth that live in Africa and the Caribbean, but the diaspora, because we have a duty to our nations. Because there's going to be a time where there's going to be an exodus and people are going to leave the Western world, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, it's going to happen. So hear thee, please. Prepare things before that time. Have things prepared, because before land starts shooting up again and prices start shooting up, at least you know that you've bagged yourself a little something, right? And you've already made them changes for yourself and your family and your future. But nevertheless, I reiterate and I repeat and I'm going to amplify that the African nations need the diaspora's assistance. There is a void, and there is going to be a void once France's hand is removed. And the only way they will come out through the other tunnel is also the participation of the diaspora and our involvement in seeing Africa and the Caribbean develop. It is so important. Like, I am devoting a lot of my time, mental capacity, emotional capacity in seeing these things happen. And I think this is why my mentor is my mentor, and he sees me for the way he sees me, because it's like, it's a thorn in my heart. It is absolutely a thorn in my heart that I want to see a change in. So the diaspora, we need to be more proactive in the development of Africa and the Caribbean. We need to be more proactive. Again, if you need assistance in the Caribbean to open up your own bank account, please message me. And I will assist you in that. If you do not have your passport or you have any questions about getting your passport, message me. And if you cannot get your passport, still message me, because I am working on ways for the diaspora who parents or the grandparents, or great grandparents were born in the Caribbean. So if you don't have a way of getting your passport, message me, because that's something I am currently working on. But nevertheless, we need to be more proactive. I cannot repeat. So I need to reiterate this. We need to be more proactive at the diaspora, because there will be a void and we need to fill that void. We honestly need to fill that void, So that's me for today. Again, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, Senegal. Search up and see the amazing things that are happening, the changes that are happening in these African nations. We honestly need to be proactive in seeing the change. Again, with the Caribbean, there is a lot of changes going on, but they still need the assistance of the diaspora, the Caribbean diaspora. If you want to create a business in the Caribbean, message me. It could just be a thought. It could be something you're desiring to do. Whatever it is, message me. If you want to create a business, because we really need to create more business in the Caribbean. We need to create more jobs. We need to have more economic activity in the Caribbean, and we can very much assist in that. If you would love to mentor a child from the Caribbean, again, maybe it could be 1 hour a month, 1 hour or two, or you could do an hour every other week. It doesn't matter. Please message me, because this is the changes that we need to do, and it needs to be implemented. If you would love to mentor a child in the Caribbean, message me. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna have to do this more often, because I really need to raise awareness of the changes that are happening within Africa and the Caribbean that we need to be aware of. But yeah, just please keep an eye out and message me if you want to invest in Africa, whatever way. It doesn't matter how small a month. It doesn't matter what. Just let me know, because I've got some few things coming up. I'm going to let you guys know once the time comes. But they need our assistance. They really need our assistance, because